So hello and welcome back. Yes, we're here with another video. I forget the name of the guy that's mentioned this. He mentioned it on the Facebook group, the Assetto Corsa Competizione Xbox Facebook group, which I do run. It's not particularly hard to run, but yeah, he wanted to have a look at the Honda. Now, I've seen on numerous other threads and numerous other YouTubers that have mentioned that the Honda NSX is probably one of the slowest GT3 cars. I'm yet to drive it. This is going to be a first for me, as it is for you. And we're going to put it through its paces at the Hungaroring. Recently, obviously the Formula One's just finished there yesterday, which was quite an interesting race. Still, Lewis did a fantastic job. So yeah, well done to Lewis and to Verstappen, especially for the guys getting the car ready and getting it back out after his little excursion in the route to the grid. So yeah, we're going to have to do a few things with this car. So first of all, let's get this wheel connected, because as per usual it's probably not connected. So that should be that sorted. And as you can see, I can't maneuver now. I think I chose the wrong moment to set the wheel up. So we're back in the controls menu, and as you can see, we're finally connected with the wheel. And I'm just going to put this to 620 degrees, which is what the Honda runs at. And we're going to go into single player at the Hungaroring, fast track settings, and I think I've got a clear day, so a nice sunny day at the Hungaroring. Yeah, I'll put this through its paces. He mentioned that there was a few issues regarding turning response, understeer. I'm sure that's something we can sort out. I'll need to just change the driving position as well, but we're going to use the aggressive setup as per usual. Just looking at the front there, running quite a lot of front camber. Traction controls fairly low, number 2, and ABS at number 3. I don't particularly like it at number 3, to be honest. I think I'm tending to run at number 4 most cars really. And obviously, because we're running no longer than about an hour session, obviously this is a short hot lap session, so we don't need to be running such a thick brake pad. And yeah, obviously you can see that the rear end's much stiffer than the front end. Running a very stiff rear anti-roll bar. The preload's very low as well, so we should be expecting some low corner oversteer, I guess, on corner entry. High speed corners should be pretty good. Shouldn't particularly be oversteering on corner exit with such a low preload. They look alright, and obviously the ride heights, we can just adjust these brake ducts because we don't particularly going to run that hot. So yeah, quite a lot of rear wing already added. As you can see, the front variation is at 4 degrees, so still quite a lot of aero going through the front wing. I'll be surprised to see how this drives.
Green light.
Just
Go, go, go.
adjust my seating position. It's very close. Just position that to where my wheel is, maybe a bit higher. That's probably, does feel a bit close still. But yeah, probably about there. We'll see how that feels. It's the first time in the car, so let's give it a whirl. Oh, still quite, whoa. Didn't expect that at all. Yep, that's not going to work. Let's just restart that again. But yeah, I certainly didn't expect so much oversteer considering I've got such a low preload. But obviously the traction control is very low as well. We'll have a lap around anyway, see how the car feels. See how the aggressive setup feels. Like I said, first time in the car. Whoa. Lots of oversteer. So traction control could do with adjusting a little bit. Whoa. Really surprised me how much oversteer this car's got. We'll try and get used to it for a little bit. Almost undrivable with the way that is. No real stability at all. Very hard to control. That's my fault. Just super light through the rear end of the car. Might take a couple of laps to get used to this one. Tyres very hot. Ooh. I'm imagining that brake bias is very much rearwards. Not too much though. Let's try and get it to do at least one lap. Yeah, very unpredictable with the rear end. Definitely going to be unpredictable through here. Just a little grip at the rear end. It really is a struggle to be confident in what the car's going to do. Still want to get a lap in without touching much. Doesn't feel too bad if you can find the balance, I don't think. Just getting used to the car initially to understand where the problems are. My bad. because it might be a lot of the issue might come down to just the brake balance. Definitely through here. It tends to get very sideways. Let's go again. I'm just super tentative at the rear. Just feeling out where I need to change my driving style to manage to get around the circuit. Wait for it. Oh.
Your lap time is invalidated. Please try to stay.
Let's go again. It's got to be super easy on the throttle application with the way it is at the moment. And again, the brakes as well. It really doesn't like you stamping on the brake pedal. Just starts to turn the car too much. Try and get through this corner. Just have to be so much more gentle on the accelerator and the brake. So 150.1. Try and get a bit faster. Don't think you'd want to drive a bit like this for the whole race. just so on edge. Obviously you can take a bit of lap time out of that.
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
It does sound really nice. Just ran a bit deep. Okay, let's try and get some more confidence in how this car performs. So straight away, let's address two issues without even addressing any of the car setup at all. So obviously under acceleration, leaving the corners, so corner exit particularly, the car's just spinning out too much. We're too scared to get back on the power. So that's one thing. Let's just increase the traction control a tiny bit. The second thing is on corner entry. The car's rotating as soon as we start to brake. So let's try and move the brake balance a little bit more towards the rear of the car. Let's go for 60. We're trying to see a big difference in this. So it's quite a big move, 4% more or less. So we've not really made any changes to the car setup, just in the aids for the car really. So you can see it's trying to cut the power on the acceleration. But it might be better just running a tiny difference in that. Still feel it trying to turn the car quite a bit. Felt better in the braking there. So much better through there. What a difference just from the brakes. So much more confidence in the braking zones. Just need to limit the acceleration, I think, now. So that's 147.9. So have another double. Just leaving that braking too late. Let's try braking into that corner a little bit earlier. And you see, if I get on the power too early, it just starts to turn the car. Now sometimes you might want that because it might help you exit the corner and just straighten the car up a little bit. But if I go from the middle of the corner, not too bad, but if I'm a little bit too early on the power, it starts to rotate too much. and then I have to make a correction, you see. Just a little bit too eager there, and obviously you can see that was at the edge of grip with regards to aero balance, really, not under the brakes. It's not the brakes that's the issue. So let's just change the engine mapping. We're just going to cut it a tiny bit more, cut in a tiny bit more power from the engine. So not particularly stopping it from engaging the traction control, but just how much traction control. Still see it rotating the car a little bit. See how we get on with it. Here it just cut in there. Here it trying to cut the power. So still be better that lap time, 1:47.8. Let's just see if it'll run a tiny bit better with one more click less, or more, sorry, on the TC2. I think the brake balance is pretty close to where I want it. I think the amount of rear, the loss of rear traction is down to aero balance, or the rest of the car really at the moment. But as regards to how the car feels, I feel much better attacking with the way it is. We haven't even looked at tyres or anything yet. Still see it wanting to go sideways under acceleration. Poor entry to the corner, really. Much better corner. Just feels like a different car. So 147.3, and all we've changed is the traction control and the brake bias. So it certainly really does change the way the car handles. Before you start messing with any of the settings in the car, I think it's a case of getting the car feeling how it should handle, just with you driving it, subtle changes. Let's just carry on. Trying to think of what else would be causing me issues really at this stage. We haven't really got much tyre delta to go on, apart from this inside tyre. That's probably the only one that's getting up to proper temperature really. So we'll just stop it before we finish the lap on this next run and see what sort of temperatures we're getting nearer the end of the lap, or maybe even midway through the lap. Still not got that corner nailed. Ooh, just on the edge of grip there. So let's just return to the garage at that point there. Seems strange, doesn't it? But that'll give me the last tyre readings at a better point during the lap, really. So if you, obviously you can see this the top right corner, just getting a tiny bit too hot. So we'll bring that down, say 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. And the rear tyres seem pretty good. The left rear just up a little bit. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, what else can we see in this setup? Obviously the outside and the inside of the tyre, we've got 6 degrees difference, which isn't too bad on the left hand side, 6 degrees on the right, which isn't too bad at all. Front tyres, we've got 7 degrees difference and 8 degrees, so not too bad the way the cambers are set up at the moment. What else can we have a look at? The way the car handles, it feels pretty good, to be honest. I'm only finding in a few areas that the rear end's just wanting to step out a tiny bit, but the front of the car is still a little bit higher than what I would want it to. There's not really lots of bumps through the Hungaroring, so we could certainly bring the ride height down a touch. The rear brake wasn't getting too hot. So obviously we've brought the front down. I'd imagine we're going to need to bring the back down a little bit more than that. So let's bring that down to 70. Just see how that goes. That's a big step of change, really. See how that feels. Stalled it. And again. Better. Just a bit of understeer through there, really. Understeering through there. Understeering on corner entry through that time. So it certainly feels like it's lost a bit of its turning. So yeah, it just feels like it's lost some of the turning response really from the front of the car. Feels like we're understeering a little bit now. Much better turning through there though. Just brake a tiny bit earlier for that corner. Yeah, just can't seem to get the car through there. Now we've lowered the front of the car, so let's just try and combat that with losing a little bit of this rear wing, because I have always got this inkling that I need to run loads more rear wing in Assetto Corsa on Xbox One X. So let's try combating that understeer by reducing the rear wing. Because it doesn't particularly feel unstable through the rear at the moment. That was my braking, mate. Look at the difference that rear wing's made. So it just feels tentative again. Just feels like I can't attack as much. And the turning response has gone, I think. We'll have another lap. See how we get on. just feels like we're having to wait a bit of time for that to turn. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel as planted now. And the understeer is creeping in at the front. So let's just try and increase the ride height at the rear. Let's say 2 clicks. Just to try and get some of that turning response back from lowering the front end. It should be like an anti-stall, shouldn't there? Just wouldn't pick up there. Very strange. Too wide. So still up. It's a scruffy lap though. Let's go for another lap. That was my fault. We'll go again because I still think there's something more to give from this setup. I don't want to overlook it. There's my delivery really. Throttle delivery. Just cutting a bit there. Still just a bit scruffy. So we're into the 146s, 146.9, and let's just try and persevere a little bit with that. Have we got a front splitter to work with? No, we haven't. So I don't really want to get rid of too much more of that rear wing, because we saw what a difference it made. But let's give it a try taking one more off. Come on. Just unsettles the car a little bit, really, taking too much of that curb. Doesn't feel like I'm pointing the car particularly where I want it. We're still up. I don't think getting rid of the rear wing is a step in the right direction, to be honest. I think we're trying to look for changing the balance of the car, really. Just get that front end turning in much quicker. Just feels like I can't put it where I want to put it. And it's surprising how much oversteer there is on corner exit. Such a low preload. Better. Don't take too much of that curb. Much better. Still a long way up there, aren't we? Just took too much of that curve. But yeah, we're a long way up. We're nearly half a second up on that lap. So the ride height's playing a heck of a lot of difference in how the car's balanced. Getting it to turn in better. Having to adjust too much there, lost a bit of time. Yeah, that's my fault. Just pushing the car too much. Can't feel anything through the wheel there. Just visual cues. Very low detail. That was a terrible, terrible turn one. Felt so much better the first time round. Yeah, something's feeling different. Feels like we've got some of that responsiveness back, but at the same time it feels like we've lost something. So still not running very much towing. Let's see if we can just get a little bit more responsiveness from the front end, just by increasing that. Don't really want to mess too much with that rear wing all the time. Just adding more and more rear wing. Nearly an hour into this setup and it feels like we're only scratching the surface of it really. Yeah, just bogged down there. Just feel like I want more front grip. Just feels like it's understeering on power, but that's definitely not right. Understeering really for the high speed corners. So just trying, I might just try and can only really soften these. So let's soften the bump a little bit. Oops. Just soften the bump and the rebound at the front, just to try and give us a bit more front end grip. Just allow it to run over any bumps a little bit better. I hate this engine cutting. I've got my foot flat to the floor. certainly don't want to mess with the preload because it already oversteers enough on corner exit. Still scruffy that. Bit of a steep angle. Yeah, just unsettled that on that right hand curve really. Just looking for a little bit more front end grip. See, just wanting to step away. So again, you see there wanting to oversteer. Not too bad. 146.4. That took quite a bit off. It just felt a little bit better on the turning, but still lacking grip from the front. Cannot get that f***ing car to turn. Why won't it turn? Let's increase this. No, let's not. Because that's not the issue. I want it to rotate better under acceleration. Not off the slow corners, off the fast corners. Let's lower it. Ooh, stall. Oh. front end grip. Where the is it? Let's lower the tire pressures. Lower the front tire pressures. That's what you would do in any other games when you're looking for more grip. So let's see if it works. Just looking for more traction. I'm looking for that 145. Cocked it up. Yes, it is. So before we go, let's just take a look in the garage, return to the garage, and let's just look over this setup where we're currently at. I don't know whether it's one that I'll return to. I really feel like I've probably spent about an hour and 40 minutes driving the car, and in all fairness, that's as good as it's going to get. I don't think I'm going to find loads more time in there. It's just finding that perfect lap. So these are the tyre pressures, and obviously these will always vary between what circuits you're driving on, what tracks you're driving on, the conditions. So tyre temperatures is always something that you're going to need to adjust. The traction control, again, depends how heavy you are with your right foot as to whether you're going to need to adjust the traction control any further. 32 laps, or 32 different sets of tyres. Obviously, you've seen the adjustments that I've made. The preload definitely made a little bit of difference to how much the car rotated in the slower corners, and it certainly does help on the faster corners as well, accelerating. The brake bias made a huge difference if you watch that from the very start, and yeah, just seemed to be adding more and more rear wing, and went back down to 14. Adding more rear wing didn't help in this situation, but yeah, I still think there is issues trying to find front end grip from this car. It really could have done with an adjustable front splitter, and reducing the rear wing doesn't add more grip to the front wing. You just end up losing rear grip. It doesn't feel like there's more grip being added to the front of the car. It's just a strange feeling, and you get that in all the cars. It just doesn't seem to help front end grip. You just lose rear end grip. It doesn't feel like the car's more nimble through the front of the car, or you've got less understeer on corner exit. It doesn't seem to work. The aero doesn't seem to work that way. So yeah, that's the setup. I'm going to save that setup to my own. You can see there was a 146 there, but we're hitting a 145 0.9. I don't think that took very long to set up, the 146. Must have been back when I first got the game, just trying out a few different cars. So it's a 145.9, and it's only just, I don't know what the figure was completely. But still missing front end grip. And that's how it feels to me. But anyway, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I hope it's been useful for you. I hope you've got something out of it, and I hope it encourages you to try and set your own cars up using information through the videos, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, ciao for now.